Good afternoon, everyone. It's 1:11 on the clock, and I have so many amazing messages for you guys today. I have a 4-deck read that turned into a 6-deck read, but that one's actually pretty short. And then I have another 4-deck read that I did yesterday, which was really revealing. A lot of stuff about Sophia and Hathor came up, as well as Mytos and mitosis, as well as Venice and Venus. Just a few little things that came up. Finn came up, the golden one. What else came up? Yeah, just a lot about Sophia and Christus and Achamoth. And again, Mytos, and then the reverse of that is So Tim, which Tim, T-I-M, came up as the top dog, and the I-M, or the instant messaging from Source. And I really want to get right into this because there's so much to tell you. And then the 7-deck read on the table that you see in front of you. So, yeah, and some messages. I actually want to give you this message first. Let's see which one this is. So, I just did this message. I just wanted to, this is my abbreviated deck that just has the characters in it, but not the other pictures. And so I just wanted to pull up the message right now. What do we need to know? And so I'm going to give you this message first. This is a quick one. It was very interesting the way it came up. So this started out with the underlying energy, and I was just going back into mitosis and Mytos, which was actually my first guide in my 20s when I first was learning to meditate, was Mytos. And this was at 12:35 to 36 as I just started, the underlying energy of the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands hanging out, the Page of Pentacles, perhaps invited, an opportunity, with temptation to drive, travel, or make a bold move, or perhaps saying hello to a neighbor, perhaps someone who hasn't been sleeping, perhaps with a baby. Capricorn Cancer may have been up all night, or suffering in silence, or dealing with a sister, and sisters came up in a definition today as well, with the Emperor or Aries who may be pleased with themselves, or perhaps a bit arrogant, with or as the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, with the Hermit shedding light on the Divine Feminine's heart and spreading the word, or father and child who are hanging around while the Queen of Pentacles, or Queen of Cups, I think that actually is, studies or does work. The first card out here was the Empress with the Lovers, with the King of Pentacles attached to the Queen of Pentacles, looking at each other. The Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles are making offers to the High Priestess, or Pisces or Virgo, perhaps Aquarius, or coming to the High Priestess for advice. The Hermit may be with a message or stepping it up. The World, Divine Feminine, Pisces, or Page of Cups, choosing a new path, or perhaps offered one, perhaps by Justice, Libra, Page of Wands, who may be excited to connect as the Dark Knight to the King of Wands' sovereign or independent child, or Libra, Page of Wands, with Knight of Cups, or mother, or female, offering love along with the Knight of Pentacles, or Scorpio, to the High Priestess, which can be the Divine Feminine as well, or Pisces, or a sovereign daughter of the King of Wands, or someone that the Page of Wands really relates to, or both Pisces and Virgo, or the Divine Feminines receiving multiple offers, or the Page of Wands wants to be the King of Wands and manage the sovereign. The King of Cups receives delivery, or a message or air sign that comes in fast, and the Magician, or Gemini or Virgo, is manifesting big, but the wounded warrior may be getting in their way, or perhaps they're guarded or defensive, or that's their guard on purpose. They may be guarding the yard with help or fence, perhaps protecting the Magician while they work and waiting for deliverance, or perhaps the mailman. The Queen of Swords speaks to or about loving children and soulmates, innocent love which sets them free to then take a walk, perhaps, or walk the dog. Perhaps Taurus wants to match up with the Hermit's son or daughter, while Pisces gets a lot of attention. Libra's inspired and Scorpio's driven, and Gemini now, with all tools on board and with protection. And Aries is free at 12:55, the Hanging Man and the Truth. So that's the message I just did. We're going to go back to the first 4-deck read, which turned into a 6-deck read. And we're going to take a few deep breaths first. And then we'll get into the rest of the messages that came across today. Let's see, where am I? I think I'm going back too far. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths first, and then we're going to roll the die. We'll do oracle cards at the end as well. Let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths now. If you don't want to, you can just pass right by this part. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. I hope you're doing well. And thank you so much for being here with me. It's a beautiful sunny day today. Teddy's out back barking right now. And let's see what else is coming up for us today. It is the 17th of December today. We're starting with yesterday's read, the 4-deck read that turned into 6. So usually I use Metatron, The Journey of Love, Nature's Whispers, and Shaman Dreams. But I added the energy deck and my Rider-Waite half deck yesterday to give it a little bit of a twist. So we'll give you that information. Let's go ahead and roll the die first. I was just getting Princess Die when I just said that. I don't normally get that. So I was just getting too that she would be queen now, wouldn't she? So let's go ahead and roll the die. Okay, we have Virgo here. So that's a mutable energy and very purifying, perfectionist type of energy. But that purification and the sun, which is the child, and Leo. And then the 6th, which is Gemini, the twins, and June, the lovers, love, family, and community. So a lot of mutable energy there with Virgo and Gemini, which are the universal Mercury twins. And then the child, or the singularity, the 0 point in the middle here with the sun. The logos is coming up as well. The word and the tone, the sword and the stone. Virgo, Leo, and Gemini. And the sun. And this is also the space, represents the space between. And the Virgo, the Hermit energy represents the one and the all for one and one for all type of energy. And here we have the 6, which represents the family. So it's very interesting because it's like the community. 6 is the community, whereas 9 is the whole. So it very much represents the in-between, right? The one and the all, and then the in-between. And then there's the space between as well. And then the well, where we dive deep into our wounding in order to clear the way. So today being the 17th is the star, and today's day adds up then to the 35 of the 9 of Wands of the Wounded Warrior. Is that correct? Let's see, 10, 28, 34, 35, yeah. So we have the Wounded Warrior energy today, perhaps in surrender, along with the star of dreams and healing. And as I start this read at 1:02, just before I started this read, or a little while, the lights flickered. Like the power didn't go out, but there was a flicker. And that was at 102, which is the masculine and the feminine with space between. The 1 and the 2 and the space between is the way it's coming up right there with the die. So that could be a Virgo masculine or a Hermit masculine and a Gemini or June or family oriented, which can be Cancer as well, feminine with space between, which could be a Leo energy or a child that's getting between them. So I'm going to show you this read first so I can get this all started. So here's the 6 decks that I did. I have the, sorry, I just want to wipe that off for you. So much fluff gets on the phone. So I started out there with the energy deck, as you can see, and then was my abbreviated Rider-Waite deck, and then was the first looks like Metatron, and then Journey of Love, and then Nature's Whispers, and then Shaman Dreams at the bottom, and I'm going to bring them in close so you can see them better. All right, so you can see all the decks and the cards. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So each deck I did pull out 3 cards, and then at the end I always pull out the cards to count as I'm guided to. So here's this message. All right, so again, the lights had flickered. And then this was yesterday, which was Friday, which was the 16 of the Tower and the 8 of Wands of the energetic exchange, the arrows of love, lots of communication and travel back and forth, and the Tower, so it could have been sudden energies. And at 1:26 to 7, I pulled the energy deck, then 1:29, the Rider-Waite half deck. At 1:32 was Metatron, 33 was the Journey of Love, 35 was Nature's Whispers, and 37, which is the King of Cups and Unconditional Love, was the Shaman deck. The cards I had to count at the end for each was 12, then 4, then 8, 3, and 2. But of course, nothing came up for that in Gematria, so we didn't need to get into that today. But there was this energy between a lot of 2s and 1s. 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 8, 2, 1, 2 came up. So a lot of 12s and 21s and 22s and 28 and 12s coming up with those numbers. So all the breakdown of the numbers, like the 12 cards came up as 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, the way they came out. And then the 4 cards came out in 2 and 2. The 8 cards first came out as 2 and then 8 altogether. And then the Nature's Whispers cards came out 2 and 1, and then the 3, and then the Shaman deck just came out with 2 cards. So the only thing that did come up, I put in 1, 2, 4, 2, 8 because 1, 2, 4, 2, 8, 3, 2 is too big. You don't get anything back in Gematria. But when I put 1, 2, 4, 2, 8, markallenking.com, and their website came up if you want to check it out. I'm not endorsing it at all. It's just what came up in Gematria. And I start out at 149, which is the Magician, the 49 of the 9 of Cups and the Get Your Wish card, or self-satisfaction and fulfillment. The underlying energy of the man holding the heart, with the Knight of Pentacles and the 17 of conquering your fears and dreams, the 50 of the cloak, the 19 of shifting energies, and 16 of the empty well. The man holding his heart offering help with a dream to heal family and shift the energy. Or dreaming of galactic family and suddenly feeling empty inside, right? Wanting to fill up. All of a sudden feel, fill up, you fill up my senses. I'm getting that need to fill up with source. Perhaps they never felt that way before. And at 159, which is the Magician and the 5 of Swords of the War Within, the underlying energy of the 22 of the Balanced Fool, and their King of Wands, 23, all tied up, or perhaps using that as an excuse, or playing games, and the 46 of the Thinking Man, about twins and stepping back to see the big picture of the earth and its presence and its gifts. The 32 of the Journey to open the door to spirit, which is coming up here as the Sophia. The man holding a heart, purging or grieving a loss or regret. and the 19 of sunshine for rest and rejuvenation, to energize through meditation. The 30 of the garden and the gate, or Eden and the vortex. Is a little girl safe inside the gate, or is that a self-made prison? The 34 of the energetic exchange of bringing the outside in, opening the window for some fresh air to purify within, breathe. 12 cards came out here. The number 2 of envy and patience. 2 cards came up as envy and patience, which were 20 and 16. The dark mother judgment, restricting the young one's liberties, and a sudden wake-up call to dark envious mother and angelic father, magician and the mirror, and the 7th chakra, which is Uriel here in this deck. The 53 and the 41 of the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Cups, or the Holy Grail. The dark genes and the light genes. Patience with time. And time comes up as that Tim energy, T-I-M, of the top dog in the instant messaging, or I am presence. Patience with time and crowning moment. The sudden traumas versus the knight in shining armor. Or the girls, perhaps one like their mother and one like their father. Or one doing time with their wings down, and one wasting time with their wings up. Both following mother-father footsteps when they should be following their own. Both longing for the other parent's attention, and neither happy finding their inner lady liberties at 227, which is the divine feminine or higher self, and the 27 of the Ace of Wands, and that new inspiration. The 11 of justice and the cornucopia, which corn is a word for horn as well, and coping mechanism here. With the horn that you cope. And again, the trumpet's coming up here, as well as the unicorn's horn, the third eye. And the alignment of justice, truth, and balance. And at 2:30, the divine feminine and union, the victory for the happy couple at 28 and 14, which 14 is half of 28, the temperance card of the angels, patience, and taking one step at a time, weaving back and forth. And the 28 of the twin flame path, the twin flames carrying connection of 17, which is today, and the dreams of black and white stallions running together and closing the gap. The 50 and the 6 of the 10 of Cups family, and the 6 of the Lovers in family, and satisfaction, a contract for balance, and doing energy testing. The 9 and the 3 of the Hermit and the Empress, the broken heart and the blossoming abundance, with the Hermit with a strong happy family, and the Lover with a contract and blossoming abundance. At 234 then, shut the door, the 2 of the divine feminine and 34 of energetic exchange, or hours of love, a lot of back and forth energy of communication or travel. The underlying energy of the King of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, sovereign, the Magician, the Chariot, the World, the Page of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles, where the King of Cups may be Pisces, or with psychic, sovereign, and Magician traveling or moving, ascending around the world, or to the divine feminine and or Pisces. The Page of Pentacles may be inviting the Knight of Pentacles to connect, and the Knight of Pentacles offering to that action to do that. The King of Swords and the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups are all looking forward to this. There were 4 cards then that came out, 2 and 2, as well as the Queen of Pentacles setting them free, and Justice of the King of Pentacles, or Aries in Libra. The King and Queen of Pentacles, earth signs, and are an abundant couple, or siblings, and the 9 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and Knight of Pentacles may be coming home, with the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups, the welcoming committee, or sending a delivery. The Knight of Swords is resting, detoxing, or sending regrets, and the King of Wands is home with little girl. The Queen of Cups being au naturel. The King and Queen of Pentacles may be doing a formal dinner, and this could be someone assessing like the different options they have for the Christmas holiday here. or whatever you celebrate, just that vacation period and where they may go to spend their time. Do they want to go to the formal dinner? Do they want to go to the casual one or the natural one or the one who doesn't make a big deal about the holidays? At 240 is the hanging man, not the hanging man, but I guess that's coming up. That could be the hanging out of the 2 of the Divine Feminine or High Priestess and the 40 of the Page of Cups. The underlying energy of the 22 of Archangel Sandalphon, who's with you now, right, governing over the earth with Metatron. The 22 of the Higher Self with time out needed in the purple moon, purging endings in the sunset for compassion. And the 36 of Atlas, which is the map of the inner child, and to hear and know me better, man, which comes up from the Muppets. And the Queen of Wands, the orange 24 of Omega, and the Pleiades, and stretching and lunging to connect and attune, to conquer your fears, to heal and dream. In a leap of faith to your higher self, with Sandalphon and Metatron, with a map of crowning the Omega intent to dream. At 245, the Divine Feminine, and 45 of the 5 of Cups, which can be the purging, the grief card of loss and regret, perhaps hanging on to the past, or just feeling bad about something. The first card out here is the 55, the 25, and they add up to 80, was coming up here as well, like the 80 days around the world. The 55 of the Shaman's Red Root Truth, with Peace Pipe and TP, and the Passion of the Knight of Wands with a love for life, facing the 19 of the Fire Dragon, and that's coming up like just now as Orion facing their dragon side, with Strength and the Pyramid, which is the fire in their belly, breathing the ether, or the family trying to make peace. The Shaman and the fire-breathing dragon, with 2 cards here of 7 and 49, which 7 by 7 is 49, the Chariot and self-satisfaction. So the Chariot to the nth degree is self-satisfaction. Water vehicle connecting with family for self-satisfaction, or Cancer energy, who's all about the family, and the Shaman a healer, and the dragon a fire starter to trigger a healing. At 254, the Divine Feminine and the Page of Swords, or that universal Mercury energy, the underlying energies of the 39 of the Knight of Cups, to let them, the feminine, lead the way, right? Because she's got that handle on the snake. The 58 of beauty and beauty rest, and the 45 of the hidden beauty of the purge, and the 41 of knowing without knowing, and the 50 of the cloak. Sleeping Beauty purging what's hidden with self-love, spiritual love, and new love. Working hard and knowing without knowing, she's being guided to family emotional fulfillment, the cloak of understanding, meeting their match, all in one. At 301, the Empress and the Magician with space between, and the first card out being the 60 of Peace, the 6 of Swords, and riding the cosmic wave on 2 swans of peace, and the 25 of the Knight of Wands, seat of the moment. It's the question that's important here, planted in the heart, the curiosity, and the 54 Page of Swords, the Earth Angel, who's the inspiration and the message to bring this, to prepare the earth for the ancient ones. At 303, 2 empresses, or perhaps the home and union and the empress, or coming together here in a big way during the holidays, with 8 cards, the 24, 63, 59, 13, 33, 70, 32, and 52. The spaces between the words, or the origins of path, is the light field and the shitstorm in the middle of the bridge, the inner war to get to Lady Liberty, the land of the free and home of the brave, going to the temple, and I was just going to the chapel, and we're going to get married. So somebody could be getting married right now. But going to the temple, the altar where the gifts are received, and again, there's an etheric altar from Atlantis above the Statue of Liberty, where the gifts are received in the transition of nature, where through 33, God speaks directly, or that energy of speaking through that Christ energy, but again, that you are all God's children. At 3:07 of the Empress, and Spirit's connecting with me, the Empress and the 7 of the Chariot, I'm getting lots of tingling all around my cap of my skull. The 70 of the 2 of Pentacles of the dance and the juggling, which is also the Heaven card in the journey of love, where God speaks heaven in the juggling act of 2, all partnered up with their perfect match, with 32, the journey of the devotion to the small, and the 52 of Lady Liberty, the Queen of Swords, receiving the light amidst the mighty sentinels, the ancient ones. And then the number 346 came up, so I looked it up, and it came up as Samuel, Nikola Tesla, Lauren, the Messiah, the Golden Gate Bridge, personal, using courage, parasite, the seal of God, it's a sign, I don't drink, and the 13th sign was Xena, Xena. The 14th was Nelson Mandela, and the 15th was coming in hot. So there may very much be that energy of Nelson Mandela coming in. And then again, the Mandela effect and mandalas, your blueprint. So at 319 is the Empress and the Sun, the underlying energy of the 47, the 4 to 7, heart to crown, and the sweet spot, airing just to the side of the upper side of the middle, or towards the light. The 7 of Cups, of seeing synchronicities in heaven in your eyes, lots of choices of things you love, or shopping perhaps, and laughter of synchronicities and avatars playing in the clouds, causing mischief. The 29 of contemplation, of wondering what that is, causing you to shift your energy from wonder to search. Or seeing ships hovering over, arcs and planets, or planets that actually are ships, present in the sun, perhaps search and destroy mission, holding watch over the earth to keep peace and quiet. The 14 of the angels and the assurance of a higher love, and the 35 of the wounded warrior, the culmination of a vision of that wounded warrior's path. The 44 of Hercules, of the 4 of Cups, of grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love. Her harvest is to seek beauty within, as the dear one seeks your attention, wearing a veil of wishes, with a long train following you around in the waters of Venice. Or that could be the Venetian in Vegas. 2 cards plus 1. The 5 of clearing out the old, and the deck perhaps, and the dark, and the 17 of infinite blessings, of snow and light. And think of the reflection off the snow and how bright it is, and that first snow when it's sunny out, it's beautiful. The 43 of the 3 of Cups, with love matters, in coming together as the old ship sails and the bird ships open to expose their other planes. Touchdown in winter, after first snow arrives. She with 9 candles, with hints of 11, clearing the clutter with infinite blessings, to come together after the land and ships have been all cleared out. So then Venice was coming up, so I looked it up, and the first thing that came up was Venice, Sarasota, Florida, the Sarasota Tribune, that they are holding a special meeting on January 6th to compromise on controversial development rules. There's a group called Venice Unites. News24.com came up with climate protesters block bridge. They're blocking the bridge linking Venice to the mainland in Italy due to trash issues in Venice. And of course, we talk about how dirty the water is there as well. And then female ancestors burst forth from the tree as fall turns to winter. Coming together matters. At 342, which is the Empress and the 2 of Cups, the energy of welcoming snowbirds here. And for those of you who don't know what snowbirds are, here on the East Coast, it's about, the older generation who always goes down to Florida. We call them the snowbirds in the winter. At 344, which is and that could be Florida, welcoming them as Florida just came up, Venice and Sarasota. 344, which is the Empress, and the 44 of Hercules, but also the Four of Cups, which can be boredom and apathy, but it's really about time to ground and integrate and master how to receive love. The underlying energy of the 36 of Atlas, lost in space and needing directions, and the 45 of the purging in order to repair the veil and forgiveness, articulating the window dressing, the bow, and the butterfly. The 2 of the beloved, divine feminine and higher self, with their heart on fire for radical acceptance of their beloved. The 10 of that high vibe destined deep diver into a task, and the 8 of the crown games and right use of power. The dance of the masculine feminine and manifesting their dreams. The 64 of ending pain of the woodwives, adapting to the sudden events, or the southeast, when the well runs dry to fill up again. At 348, which is again then the Empress and the 48 of the 8 of Cups walking away and within, is the 49 and the 33 of getting your wish with joyful muse, with skywriting the fates with inspiration of music and art, and the crazy cat, the 59 of the inner war of the wailing tree, and reconciliations within the family. With 2 cards here, the 35 and the 26, which is the wounded warrior and the Page of Wands, who may have lost their way and is now getting back to their integrity through the power of community and inspiration. So at 352, 52 being the Queen of Swords and that Lady Liberty energy, the man with a heart and the Knight of Pentacles with dreams of conquering fears of loneliness within a happy family, exposing the shift and the arcs and the sudden events of the empty well and the need to replenish. The Knight of Cups offers love to the 6 of Cups, inner children or outer loving children, and the Queen of Swords to the devil, or the temptation, or the Capricorn waving, self-satisfied or perhaps arrogantly inspired, or the Queen of Swords with the Page of Wands, or perhaps that's the little devil, as Teddy just came in, and the King of Swords with the Queen of Wands, and the Hermit with light on the Emperor. The Page of Swords with a message or child of the King of Swords helping them out, perhaps with the Page of Cups as well, unable to sleep, or sister, or suffering in silence, in lovers in dark night, with the wounded warrior defensive and guarding the Emperor, or that is the Emperor guarding themselves, or the Emperor with the sideways glance, and being offered a choice by the Knight of Wands rushing in on behalf of the Empress. Or the Empress is sending kids to the Emperors without guidance, and the Emperor's defensive, remembering what happened last time they did that. So again, this could be 2 parents who aren't together anymore, the Emperor and the Empress, or this could also be an active split right now between the Emperor and the Empress. We also have the energy of the King and Queen of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles coming to the King and Queen of Pentacles on one side of the twins, and then the Knight of Cups coming to the Emperor and the Empress on the other side. Or the same Knight with 2 persons or 2 different families to choose from at 407. Again, the space between the heart and the crown. Okay, so, and also this energy was coming up, the message of the Empress, right? Lovers with the King of Pentacles there. That was just a quick pull. And again, that's the message of, that could be the mother and son, that can be the twins coming together, the energy of Earth and Taurus as well, and Gemini. And Gemini comes up as the messenger there. So as we move forward here, I was going into Mytos again. So again, Mytos, which came up to me in my 20s as my toes. And then I was getting Mytos. So I looked up Lord Mytos to see what came up, and this was at 555. And I was also bringing it up because Mytos is the reverse of So Tim, and TIM just came up in my reads, which I gave to you already. And 555 is about so much change. It's also the devil or the shadow. So I looked up, and again, I just showed you the reflection of things. So there's that shadow, the light and the shadow reflecting. So I looked up Lord Mytos, and what first came up were some game sites, right? Clash Royale and the Alan 10 Adventures from fandom.com, where he's a Splix son, Splixson, from planet Hathor, the former Lord of Hathor. So Mytos is coming up as the Lord of Hathor, with burgundy eyes and 2 arms, but they also self-duplicate, so sometimes can end up with more than 2 arms. They're flexible, agile, with jumping, digging, and speed via cloning, along with underwater respiration, and they have white skin. Orange and black royal-looking clothing, and fins on his head, which fin, by the way, came up in the 7-deck message today. And again, the Sherbert energy came up on the last read, which is that energy of instead of orange and black would be white and orange. So again, the reflection of that. The crown on this character's head is also orange, and it's shaped like a crown, but orange. But he got in trouble helping the dictator, Hitmus, and multiple limb army. So if he helps Excalibur apprehend Alan normally, he can go free. So Lord Mytos currently is a member of the Annihilators. Maybe he's a bit arrogant due to his formal royal position. He debuted in the Annihilates Part 1, the history reviewed by Excalibur and 1111, which is funny because it reminds me of my name Evelyn, because sometimes people will tease me and call me Evelyn. So 1111, and again, Evelyn equals 29, which is an 11, and my soul number is 3811. So a lot about 11 here is coming up, and then alignment of truth and balance and justice, and recruited to the Annihilates to go to Eartha and apprehend Alan normally. Or anomaly, I'm not sure which it was, with an R or not. But again, that's the character. So then Mytos also came up, right? Mytos can be spelled many ways. It can be M-I-T-O-S, and it came up as Mytos, so M-Y-T-O-E-S or M-Y-T-O-S. So I always look up all of them to get the messages of what was coming through. And of course, M-Y-T-H-O-S, which is myth, right? Mythos. But Mytos, M-Y-T-O-S, is also a platform, and this was at 610, which is the Lovers and that High Vibe Destiny. The platform launching in Q1 of 2023, a fully automated company that grows primary suspension cells. So they did in 2019, they grew the primary suspension cells. In 2021, the hardest to grow human cell type, the iPSCs, and then final pre-launch pilots in the second quarter of 2022. The infrastructure for cell manufacturing, and this is for any human cell type. It's in Innovate UK, Imperial College London, and they describe themselves as driven, curious, with no ego but highly curious, fast thinkers, courteous, and reflective, kind, socially for great conversation, and they have lunch at 12:30 precisely every day. And they're a bunch of highly intelligent young people. So you can check out that company if you'd like, MYTOS. So then Mytos came up as Hathor in this game. So I'm okay, they're leading me to Hathor. So I looked up Hathor. So they're referencing Mytos as Hathor, which is the mother consort of Horus and Ra, the eye of Ra as well, one of them, with vengeful aspect to protect Ra. She crossed boundaries between worlds, helped the deceased souls cross over and transition, which was really interesting because when I did my meeting with Jill and Remy back in 2016, I think it was, that was one of the things she said I primarily did was help people cross over at death. They'd done a lot of that, and that's what I actually did with my father when he passed away. I literally was, holding him. So the cow came up here as well, right? She's represented as a cow, or cow horns, and a sun disk on her head. Also, she's represented as the lioness, the cobra, the sycamore tree, the bat, and the crocodile, which when I had tried to tap into Mytos to get a visual, I actually saw lots of different visuals. They were like morphing for me to see all of their personalities, but crocodile was one of the things that came up, which is why I was questioning. At 2686 to 2181 BC was the time period that came up here, and this is all Wikipedia stuff. But more temples were dedicated to her than any other goddess. Most prominent in the Dendera in Upper Egypt, that temple, which is also Memphis, which I was born in Memphis, so it's another parallel. So it's really cool the way things were coming through. In hieroglyphs, it's written as H with a dot below the H, WT, dash HR or HRW, again with the dot below the H. And the consorts of Ra, Horus, Atum, ATUM, and Amur, and then KHONSU. She played many different goddess roles and is also considered the 7 Hathors, and as many as 362. A type of deity rather than a single entity. And again, this is like talking about the 9. She gives birth to the sun god each dawn, which is the name that Sam gave me in my read with Sam, that it's Yuma, which means the dawn. And then the house of Horus, which is the sun in the sky and the falcon. Or my house is the sky. She's also known as the golden one. Her rays illuminate the whole earth. Also fused with Nebuchadnezzar. I don't know how it's pronounced. Nebuchadnezzar. I don't know how to say it, but the Lady of the Offering, Contentment, and Vulva. And again, the lioness and cobra came up, which have come up a lot for the divine feminine in the reads. The eye of the Ra was extension of his power, being both mother, wife, and daughter of Ra, the daughter-eye goddess who in turn gave rise to him, her son, in cycle of constant regeneration. Hathor of the 4 faces, or 4 cobras, becomes Sekhmet, the lioness goddess, to massacre the rebellious humans. Okay, so her dark side, her rebellious side, or her protector, soldier, warrior side of Ra. When she drinks, which Ra then would give her alcohol, she then becomes her sweet self again. When she would rebel, Ra sends another god in, such as Thoth, to then retrieve her or bring her back, sending out help to create the world. So on 12/15/22, during that read that I did for this that I'll give you today, a fin came up in the header, which references the fin on the top of Hathor's head, which is known as the crown is like a fin. But that's also Jen McCarty's son is Finn, and also Finn references fish, and whatever you may reference Finn, financial numbers, things like that. The underlying energy of the Knight of Cups, or the King of Cups rather, offers the humble loyal servant, or to be the humble loyal servant of the Empress and the Emperor. The bipolar extreme love and extreme protection, which it was assigned to the feminine energy, right? She wasn't the middle ground. She was the extreme love, which then reflected the extreme protection or warrior, right? The one who freaks out and has jealousy fits and things like that. So the devil of the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups, or the devil or the Knight of Swords and Knight of Cups, the Page of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords, the Grim Reaper of the King of Wands, or Ra, and the Perfect Mother, or Sovereign, with the Six of Cups children, right, being the perfect mother role, and the Page of Swords, advertising it as well for the magician that then sets him free. So she like does all these things for the masculine. She's that mutable energy that can work around the tree and be that perfect everything, right? And remember that Sherbert came up on my last read too, where Sher equals the lions, and Sherbert was coming up as the lion's share or the lion's accoutrement, which again is coming up with Hathor. Okay. So then I went into Lord Sophia because she's the Lord of Wisdom, and again in some religions is considered the Holy Spirit. So what was all of the research in Wikipedia to say about Sophia and how this relates to Hathor, which we're coming up really as the same, because it was titled as the mythos of the soul. That was the definition of Sophia. That's the first thing that came up. So not just the myth, because just because you say it's a story doesn't mean it's not true. Mythos really just means story. It doesn't mean it has to be an untrue story. The myth of the soul, or Sophia. The human's father missing home, sucked into the evil and working their way back. The mother who returns home to her marriage. And there was a picture of Sophia, and she had a head of the sun, which represents Leo. And there were also words like Venice on either side of her, but they were not in English, so I couldn't read them. But it's called the Rosenkreutzer, Kreuzer, Altona, Altona, from 1785. So it had Venite, Venite, on both sides of her, and one was Rosa Crucis Venite, and the other one's Philosophorum Venite, so whatever they directly translate into, but I was interested that the rose and the philosophy, which again is Sophia, which is wisdom, which is what philosophy is based on. So this picture of Sophia is called the Valentinian system, which is Valentine, the Valentinian system. She of the left hand that sank down into this world. And again, this is all from Wikipedia. The descent of the Sophia from the pleroma, or in other words, a fall. And final cause of this fall, a state of suffering, which has penetrated into the pleroma itself, which is the world of source. The Sophia is also called the meter, M-E-T-E-R, with long accent symbols over the E's, which is very, so we then bringing me closer to the Mytos energy there. But they're all coming together as that same kind of energy. The 30th aeon in the pleroma, she now remembers the better world that she has forsaken and gives birth to the Christus, or in other words, with a shadow. So her and her shadow. While Christus returns to pleroma, or to source, Sophia forms the demerge. This whole lower world, out of the sky, a right and left principle for her redemption comes down to Sophia. Either Christus himself or the Soter, as the common product of the eons, to bring her back to pleroma and unite her again with her zygos, basically, or zyzygos. The Italian school of thought was the twofold Sophia, Ano and Kato Sophia, or the Akamoth, also called Ogdoad, Ogdoad, and meter, like I said already, and Kyrios, which is Kyrios or Krios, which reminds me of Chiron or Cryon. Another name is so anyway, the Akamoth. So I broke up Akamoth to define it, and that was per August Han, which again represents the August of gold, the OU of gold, and the gust of wind, right? The golden breath, and the Han of Han Solo that always comes up, derived from the Akamoth, derived from Chokmah in his perspective, August Han, Chokhmah, which is the Hebrew version, and Aramaic was Hakmuth, Hachmuth, with a long accent over the U, which means she that brings forth, or the mother. The Syriac form of Hakmuth used by the Bardesanes, and the Greek Hakamoth found only with the Valentinians. So the hymn of the pearl then came up. So there's the pearl threaded that we were just talking about. And the hymn, which also comes up with the Elohim, the ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, and the hymn of the pearl. The soul that was sent to fetch the pearl, guarded by the serpent, but forgot her mission until she was reminded with a letter from her father-mother, and her brother performs her task, receives back her glorious dress, and returns to her old home. And the way that Akamoth came up when I defined Aka and Moth was literally the battle axe mother, which could be like a tough love kind of mom, to leave the strong one or male organs, spinning thread. So again, Gandhi was coming up there with the spinning wheel. Spinning thread, worm, literally was defined. So spinning thread was coming up as Aka, and moth, one of the definitions for moth is worm. So the silkworm was coming up here, spinning thread, the axe to grind, or waste, and then the allowing of stupor, or the sliver and penis were coming up. So again, the masculine, the demasculation of the masculine in their mind, right? Something you say may not put them in a negative light, but they may see themselves in a negative light in that perspective, as you all understand what I'm talking about there. All right, so the Mytos was coming up here with the Mythos, which is basically the same thing, because TH can be also spelled with just a T. And Mytos was coming up as Mytos with an S, but also with a Z, because initially my message was my toes, which would be T-O-Z, which comes up as the might of Oz, the mighty Oz. And remember, backwards is So-Tim or Zo-Tim, which were coming up as messages of the eye and the eye of the soliger, the mild or the mid of today or midday, which I just said afternoon, the I am of thanks and gratitude, and all of these energies that were coming together ultimately was coming up as to exchange and give thanks. And the might of Oz, to breathe, which with O2 as well. And remember that Mytos is also about mitosis. And so I looked up mitosis backwards as well. So that will come through here in a message as well. So, and So-Tim, S-O-T-I-M, is to shorten. But Zo-Tim didn't come up. But it did come up in a different way with mitosis, and mitosis spelled backwards. So I'll get to that when I get to that page. So the Ode to Sophia also came up in Wikipedia. And Sophia was more recorded, well, in the Greek versions of things. The marriage of the maiden, and the maiden just came up in the previous read. The daughter of light to her bridegroom. The Christ enters the pleroma and receive their light and praise, along with the quote-unquote living spirit, the father of truth, the mother of wisdom. The first prayer of consecration, the mother of 7 houses, and again this is all about Sophia, who finds rest in the 8th house, the Ogdod, O-G-D-O-A-D, again that comes up, which is referencing as perfect mercy or the Holy Spirit, the hidden mother. She who partakes in the conflicts of the noble, the agonists or agonistes of Christ, and the holy dove as well, which has given birth to the 2 twins. The light maiden, or Parthenos Lucis, appears as the archetype, or Astrea, the constellation Virgo, above the 13th eon, or aeon, however it's pronounced. She is the judge of the departed souls, again those who leave their bodies at death. Under the 7, under her there are 7 other light maidens, and from this place comes the sun dragon, which is daily borne along by 4 light powers in the shape of white horses, and so makes his circuit round the earth. So by thinking outside the box, she was able to, it's like that energy of Eve leaving the garden because she's curious about what more there is. But again, the lesson here was Source itself. By thinking outside the box and breaking the rules, they draw outside the lines and get lost. But then when they work themselves back to themselves, they have then expanded to a whole new world. So she is able to extend past what was seen as possible by facing her worst fears. At 752, which is the Chariot and the Queen of Swords, and that's the way 52 is written, is 52/7. The ascension of Lady Liberty, right? As the feminine side of Source falling into human embodiment and working her way back, they found a way to expand themselves exponentially as the Mother-Father. The pleroma is the fullness of God's being, the central portion or the primary meristem, the stem of the plant, a filling up, a complement of the plant and sea sponge as well. And again, not his story, but myth. My, to the nth degree, is the legend, the tower. To the nth degree is to the capital N, which is for me, Christ. And the th to the nth degree, and then the degree is the 0 of the 0-point field. My table header, not his story, but my legend of going to Christ through the 0-point field. And then John Lennon and John Legend were both coming up. And Teddy had just at that moment brought me a blue star and a gray sock, which was a Nike sock. And then Nike was reminding me of Mikey, was my Australian Shepherd growing up. And then Mickey Dolan came up as well, of the Monkees, and Archangel Michael. And again, my first dog, his name was Microscope, because my maiden name was Cope. So again, there's this energy of Mikey, but then Archangel Michael coming through, and the blue star, which references Sirius, and the gray sock. And I was getting the wool pulled over their eyes. And that can reference the grays as well. So anything else that comes up for you guys referencing those names just then, let me know. And FedEx just went south. So here is the read from yesterday, which was amazing. So let me give you this message here. Okay, so this is my 4-deck read. So this one started with the Shaman deck, and then Nature's Whisper? No. The Shaman deck, then the Journey of Love, and the Journey of Love is second, then Metatron, and then the bottom is Nature's Whispers, and I'm going to pull that in so you can see them. Again, the same way, 3 cards pulled, and then my numbers that I had to count at the end. Okay. So I pulled the 4 decks at 8, 43, 44, 44, and 45, which is the 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, and 5 of Cups. The numbers that came out at the end of each deck were 4, 1, 1, and 4, which represents the 41 of the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail, and the 14 of the Temperance card of the angels of that higher love. The Shaman Dreams deck came out 1, 2, and 1, adding up to that 4, and Nature's Whispers came up 2 and 2 to add up to that 4. And 4114, the entry was, why are we involved in gematria? So that's all that came up for gematria again, nothing there. But again, the 4114 is the all for one and one for all of the Ace of Cups and the Temperance card. The underlying energy here at 848, which is the dance of manifestation between the masculine and feminine, and this inner and outer strength of manifesting your dreams. The 19 of the falling angel, the 47 of soft, the 17 of conquering your fears, and the 13 of renewal of peace. The falling angel blinded by the light, or the sun, to fetch the pearl threaded, which is one of the stories about Sophia, right? She was sent down to find the pearl, and then got caught up with the snake. So here is the sun, blinded by the light, the falling angel, like the feminine falling out of the sky, to fetch the pearl threaded, which, remember, threaded is a definition for Mytos, from the serpent, then softening with synchronicities from 4 to 7, the sweet spot of the heart to the crown, of heaven in her eyes, and finding her way back home, and healing by conquering fears, to transition to renewal of peace, virgin and child, the angel and her little butterfly. At 8:55, the dance of the butterflies, or the dance of the truth of the 55 shaman, the root red shaman, the underlying energy of the 37, the 3 keys, and the unconditional love of the King of Cups. The magicians soared with confidence in their magic. The King of Cups and the 56, 2 of swords, then having 2 swords, not just one, sharing the stone. The 2 of swords and the wall here. And knowing inside, seeing the challenges of the 41 of the moon, maiden, the holy grail of new beginnings, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and the devotion of emotion, of laughter, of groups and chaos, and the golden heart, the heart in the hand, the universe is your partner, in the pursuit of happiness, of the falling angel, which came up as the den of El, the Elohim. The den of El, where D also equals M of co-creation, and L equals the 13 of B, which is the transition. The EN, which also equals JC, and 1 of the E that equals and congruent to Christ right here. The co-creation of JC at the right angle, or the right angel, or transition via the lambda L leap, from lamb to father. The handmaidens fall in love. The double cross and triple cross, if you've seen the Handmaidens, the Handmaiden movie. The King of Cups and Excalibur exposed. And in the Handmaiden, it was, a man who wanted to steal a woman's wealth. So she was going to marry her and then get her committed so that he could take off and with all her money and just be on his own. So he hires the handmaid to help him do this. But the handmaid ends up falling in love with the wife. And so they end up, there's like this double agent and then triple agent kind of play in the movie. So at 9:27 is the Hermit and the 27 of the Ace of Wands. The first card here being the 64 of the Woodwives, who are adaptable to great pain and great bliss. Again, that energy of the polarities of the role of the feminine, right? The trunk of the tree being the stable center, and the feminine who can do everything else around them, but also can go to great extremes. The 44 of Hercules and her harvest in the perfect storm to step into life. The 60 of the 6 of Swords, the Watchers of Peace, and the totem of the Tyon, the tiger lioness, as one with the headdress. In this picture of the card is the Indian chief's headdress here, but was also coming up as the rad dress and red drum, which comes up as the surda and the murda, or the sirdar, which equals the army commander or commander-in-chief, as we just talked about the chief's headdress, and the Ottoman Turkish Empire coming up here, the sirdar and the murdar, the murder, the commander-in-chief's murder, which was really interesting too, because after I did this, I watched Elena Danaan, and she had a report from the commander. But I wonder too, there was news about the Turkish commander-in-chief. Something about inaugurating Turkish choppers, and that was from the Philippine Daily Enquirer. And then Turkish aggression in Syria is a gift to ISIS, and that was coming up from Kurdistan 24. Then SDF leader welcomes international reactions against the Turkish operation in the UN, and that came up from the national interest, and those were just the headliners that came up when I looked. The 4 cards then came up of 1, 2, and 1, the 28 of the hollow bones, the 9 and 46 of the Hermit and the 6 of Cups, and the 25 of the Knight of Wands. The falling angel that adapts to hard work around the nucleus, with space between. The raven peacock on the eagle's perch with the vortex within, and then connecting as the totem watchers of peace. The peacemakers. The falling star, the electron, and the pro on the eagle's perch, the totem pole. The collapse of a supernova at the maiden's hand, so they cut off her limb and made a nest of it. At 9:46, the Hermit and the 6 of Cups. In the desert with Chief, the totem, O'Neill. So here's that play with Tatum O'Neill, but also the totem and saying, oh, kneel to me, right? I'm the totem. As the trees don't just grow in the desert, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, but here the trees don't just grow in the desert. Like, don't take advantage of the trees here. You kneel to us. The 28 of the moose and the bones used for decor. A humbling of the ballerina on toe. My toes, as Mytos comes up. The green moth, and there's that moth of what's the name again? Eros moth. Akamoth. So the green moth, or Akamoth, dares to dip their toe in the desert or flame. The 46 of the root girl playing with fire and got burned down to the stump in the disowning of self. The hermit and children in the Knight of Wands' garden of E's den for rest and renewal of Venus after Venice. The venerable ice and the venerable us of Venice and Venus, co-creating Isis. The boyfriend ice and us, or 20 and back. Beautiful friend or windy ice and us, that one, Isis. A vein that's mild, shore, bank, or side. The dirty Isis in the garden of Venus, of us, US, EN-us. References for me, code EN is Jesus Christ, is really Jesus energy, whereas the capital N is the Christ energy. But the EN of Jesus and the US of us, or the United States, which is actually EN-US, is a coding for language and country. Creating English in the US, or Veen-S, the venerable US. The abduction of woodwives on the eagle's perch, as totems and tyons, the tiger lioness, watch the hermit and Knight of Wands, inner children, connect. At 10:07, which is destiny of the chariot, the feminine within the masculine ascending, the underlying energies of 15, 14, 44, 6, 50, 20, and 47, of devils and angels, and Herculean lovers, returning to receive love through the Ten of Cups family in a wake-up call of synchronicities. The mother prays for the falling angel, always ready to catch them, and the 44 of Hercules, and the 4 of Cups with rings of time, and no longer light on their feet. Thoth, and the tree, to the nth degree, with space between. That's 44, lambda leap times 2. To learn to fly, you must know how to land. Otherwise, you're just another falling angel, ending up in a chair. The 39 of the Knight of Cups, let the feminine lead the way, with a handle on that snake and her flowing hair. The Age of Aquarius. The 6 of the Lovers and the Angel of Jupiter awakens. Here we are in Sag. As Sagittarius 12-12 and the alignment of Gemini, which is the opposite axis of Sagittarius and the twin lovers. The cloak of the 50 of the family that keeps you warm and protects you. And the waking up to the sweet soul rising, as 20 and back is one thing, but 50 and back is a whole nother. Perhaps we're unable to protect their child from the world or the world beyond. The 47 of the softening, of the 4 of the heart to the 7 of the crown. The pearl threaded is the pair and the leap of the L. The pearl threaded, the Mytos or Mytos, the might of Oz and the mighty breath. The mighty mouse from behind the curtain undressed. Becoming more relatable. When someone falls, you naturally soften to them and help them up to renew the peace within. At 1021 is the destiny of the world and the energy of Pisces from one world to the next, and the destiny of that high vibe 10 trill of the logos, of the source energy coming into the human. The 52 of the Queen of Swords, the Lady Liberty and the Ancient Ones of Light. The 38 of the Pearl Threaded, via your light from flower to flower, pollinating from flower to flower. The pearl to the light, as Gandhi weaves from the wheel. The Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups, receiving the light as Lady Liberty, and then softening as she shares, becoming the Queen of Hearts. And the movie Burnt came up the other night as well. I think I told you about that already. But then at 1024, which then brings in the Queen of Wands, of the Omega and the crowning of the ascension process, and the 10 of that connection, that direct connect to Source and Hieros Gamos. The love and light of the Lambda leap, the L and L of the Elohim, the ELO Electric Light Orchestra, and the hymn of the Republic for which it stands, which Republic means a public thing. One nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. Or one Nat King Cole, C-O-A-L, right? Unforgettable, King of Coal, in connection, that's unforgettable. The U.S., right, which is the underdog always, and one nation under all, for all, and justice for all, which is 4 of the Lambda Leap, the L and the 1, and the all, which is AWL, which makes a whole. The underdog is always cheered on to win, in that 1 of the leap of liberty, the L, and then the IBER, which equals over, and then TY, which is thank you or gratitude. So liberty is to leap over with gratitude. And then justice of the Jew's path of ice and a slippery slope that is. The 4 of the all, the lambda leap of the whole, the 0 point field, the vortex, the lambda leap through a hole in the wall or in the all. The human connection to the Holy Grail. So 35 is the card of intimacy, where there we have Tim again. In Tim, a C, the wounded warrior 35, In Tim, an ocean of emotion, a holy sea. The top dog instant messaging or I am presence. A peek into a sea of emotion through the cyclone. Cyclone is the cycle of one. Into the vortex, through the chaos of life. Into the center, the journey to the center of the earth. One card, Earth, EARTH, where emotional attachments are tower events, and the earth of the ear to the nth degree. They hear everything. The one of the heart fire and the spark inside the rose. The infinite spiraling that never ends. The heart that goes on and on and on. And stiff person syndrome, the 1 in a million at 1055, which is the 10 of destiny and the 55 of the truth. So the underlying energy of the 31 and the transmutation of dark and light. The 48 of the walking away and within, the void, the Om, the 30 symbol with the crown on top, retreat and rest to go within. Then the 30 card of silver and the warrior of light, finding the needle in that haystack, stuck in their thumb and pulled out a plum. How lucky am I to find the source by going within. The entry wound and the emerald city, the Knight of Cups healing their heart and being love, as the flame must go on. Doing the dance, answering the call, leading the way with flame in hand, with 3 keys of alchemy, to breathe, to be, and to rise. The 35 of the wounded warrior, Kundalini rising, pulling out their sword, is removing what caused the wound, the sword, so that you can heal. The sword in the shadow pack that you carry in your spine, the Kundalini rising, is that sword that you're removing. The spine is the SPINE, which INE is I and the jaguar and the in and the water. The service pack of water or emotion. The simulated patient, the in, the bodyguard of I am. Once the sword comes out, it takes time to heal the wound. It's one step at a time, conquering your fears to heal and dream, and connect to your body, and dream the impossible dream. The 5 of communication, of your message in a bottle, by finding your platform, your mouthpiece, your shell. The 4 of that lambda leap, and seeking stability by letting go, allowing the fall after having been free for the summer. And remember that energy of when you're free of the 5, you then seek stability of the 4. And when you have the stability of the 4, you seek the freedom of the 5. It's just the nature of the human. There's safety in the number 55, which is the truth in Excalibur. The 11 at 1108, which is justice, truth, and alignment and balance. The 8 of the dance of the masculine and feminine, manifesting their dreams. So then one card came up at 1109, which is basically the reflection of 9/11, the 25 of the passion of the Knight of Wands, and their love for life, of firing the heart up. The heart causes the white and gold spark directly up, and the red rose is the residual effect, the flowering or the unfold. The garden of Venus, of heaven on earth, of beauty, of the 25, and then the 1 in the middle to the 25. The Knight of Wands leap to the Knight of Wands, back to themselves, the 2 sides of themselves. And I have to show you the picture. So this was in this read that I showed you, and this is a close-up. So look at this closely. This heart literally is showing you the side view of this, top down. So the white and the yellow is this you're seeing in the middle, showing you that the heart is creating the spark, but the residual on the outside is the rose unfolding. Okay, so really cool. The other part of this is that this is both 25 and 25. They're both the Knight of Wands with the 1 in the middle. Okay, so we have the 25 and the 1 or the leap in the middle, right? The 1 is 2 dots and a leap. It's not actually a straight line. The Knight of Wands leaping to the Knight of Wands, the two sides in themselves. The heart fire of the flowering, the healing to grow cells, to split cells, or in other words, share oneself. The twin flames of the Hermit, the 9, the 1 and the all, and the 46 of the inner children, and the 25 of the Knight of Wands equals the 225, remember, in block style when you put them together, is the window to the soul. To the 698 pod, remember my example of the 144, is the leap of the 1 to the 2 pods, the 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6, 7, 8, 9. The 2, 3, 4, 5 is that 2, 5 energy with the 3, 4 of the energetic exchange, or that lambda leap in the middle. In order to get to that 6, 9, 8 pod with the 7 as the key, to leap is one thing, but to return is key. The turn key. 2020, clear vision to a whole new world. 21. The 22 is the Fool's journey to leap with the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands to rescue themselves as the 25 Knight of Wands, to trigger that spark again after the burning off of the ego. The 2023 is the King of Wands, and 24 is the Queen of Wands, who's got more personality than he. The 23 and 24 equals the 47, or the 4 to 7 sweet spot of the heart to the crown, referencing the next years. 23 and 24 are very much about moving from the heart to the crown. The heart to the crown after a leap from the root. All right, so you did all the work to leap from the root to the heart, right, to collapse the lower chakra system, and now you are honing the heart to the crown, the root or path of the two googly-eyed people, the two humans, to the heart womb, and now to the crown. The roots of the tree, and then the cup of the womb, and then grow a trunk that then cups again to hold the heart, and that grows in all directions up and out as you move up from the heart. The Holy Grail, womb to heart, that lights up infinitely in all directions of time, space, and all realities. The leafing of the tree at the end, so we're talking about the tree. So you've done the Holy Grail part of the womb to the heart. But the leafing at the branches is the crown, right? The leafing needs trimming from time to time, but some naturally fall away just to review and grow again, offering a safe haven for birds and bees, for moths and flames, for squirrels and nuts that don't fall far from the tree, for compost, or for calm posting. At 1136 of Justice, Truth, and Balance, of Atlas, the map of intent. The underlying energy of the 5, which is change. After the Queen of Wands rides Pegasus, which is also the Knight of Wands. And the octopus teacher lends their service to the orphaned children and vulnerable ones. Or the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands Pegasus have a little seahorse of their own that needs looking after. The 7 of a little chariot, or a little girl, perhaps just like her father, creating waves on gossamer wings to lift your emotions to the Queen and King. The Queen of Cups 38, vines weaving around his trunk, in acceptance of his love, letting go of the old for freedom. As the 23 King of Wands, to know you are worth the vision that you see at 1140, the justice, truth, and balance and alignment of the Page of Cups, the innocent inner child, of the blossoming horizon, or the whore's eyes on you, the Mary Magdalene energy, and your ship coming in, and she there with you, dressed in flowers and candles, and a boat for 2. The 34 of the 8 of Wands and the arrows of love, and the vulnerability of leaving the 9 candles behind along with the wounded warrior and victim mentality, and trusting in the arrows of love that the dried old leaf will actually take you there. And interesting about 20 and back came up in my read, because then Elena was talking about what our Earth was already like in 20 years. So you might want to check their video out. At 11:44, and this movie Bardo came up last night, and I didn't watch it all the way through. I was getting bored watching, actually. But I wrote down Matteo was born, and it was really funny. The first scene was giving birth to a boy, and they listened to the boy, and the boy said, "No, it's too screwed up here. I don't want to go. Put me back." So they literally put the baby back in the mother. So that part of it was funny, but the rest of the movie was kind of boring to me. But his name was Matteo, so there may be something about Matteo that needs to be heard out there. Maybe Matteo wants to go back in. And at 11:44 was the 13 of the transitioning to the new and the renewal of peace. And peace, notice, is the P seal, or the pod, the 698 pod, the 2 P's in a pod. The P seal is the pod, the 2 P's in a pod, which POD is also paid on delivery, or deliverance. The 36 of the Atlas Intuition and Esther Williams, with their brain on fire. The blooming onion, and how to get from onion to union, is from O to U, or OU. The Esther coming up as the letter S and then TER, which means number 3. And then Williams is the will and the M's, or the Sophia's bull and devastation, and wills to have and to hold co-creation. The E, it actually comes up as the E3, and then WM, or the EWM plus the 3 of TER, which is 3 in Esther. The Rolling Stone, and the 4th quarter of the Rolling Stone. The Wheel of Fortune, or Destiny, where Esther and Williams is the ES3 and the W11M. And when you mush them together, the ES3 becomes an 8. It's the window with the 8 superimposed on it. And then the W11M becomes the literally becomes the hourglass here, but with the 11 in it, right? Because these lines are from the M and the W. The 11 would be inside them. And then it references that energy like I show you with the, right, the light going through the X in the middle of the torus with the masculine and feminine lines on either side. So she is the crazy 8, or the vertical, full package, but he is the hourglass, the horizontal, that's missing the alter egos of the moon split in half. So remember that the hourglass, even though this is the infinity, it's missing the outer half, right, becoming the infinity, or the 2 halves of the moon, where here is the whole 8, right, but the 8 isn't complete over here. It's just the shared part of the masculine and feminine. She is the, right, that's representing when they're not together in physical union. So she is the crazy vertical 8 full package, but he is the hourglass horizontal, missing the alter egos of the moon split in half. And again, it brings up my picture of the 2 8s coming together dancing, which is then split in half here, and looks like an Easter egg being split open. But I didn't do the same with the other 8, but you can do both eggs split open. But again, representing the vortex. And the map of intent. The sun, soft, star, and sweet little one here, with Atlas in the twin towers of you and I connection, or intuition, the walking away and within, wild and free, with hope and happiness at the sea, manifesting in the dance a leap of faith, and breakthrough flying into the sea, with the 4 of the lambda leap, the emperor's pause, and the little fairy girl at the tree, to stabilize, feeling the pulse of those silly avatars, those boys creating havoc in the clouds, in the running of the avatar bulls, the 47 of the 4 to 7 sweet spot and the heart to crown, with butterflies and running off some steam, with thunder rolls and laughter. She consulting the ancient ones at 12:19, the hanging man and the sun. With 2 cards, the 46 and the 17 of the 6 of cups and the stars, the little girl, their unicorn, with gratitude and appreciation, with fairy dust and infinite blessings. At 12:21, sweet dreams. And that movie, too, had opened, I don't know if it was that one or another one, because I wasn't really paying attention to what was on. But the movie opened up with a man running through a desert, right? Which goes on and on and on. It's like the 40 days and 40 nights kind of energy here. So then I had pulled some cards from the Wild Unknown deck. This was last night. And I don't have the picture to show you because it wasn't really about the pictures, because I was getting my messages from the words, from the animal words on the cards as they were being partially covered. So not all of this makes complete sense, but it may make sense to you at parts, which is your specific message. So listen closely. And this was at 1:11 a.m. last night from the Wild Unknown Oracle deck, or the guidebook. So scoring some fun with the inner child, or RN, or nurse, or RNC, or Scorpio and fish, and uni cozy, which could be coming together to be cozy. Have Pico, was so funny coming up, so maybe I need Pico to come and do something, but have Pico go to the L's den, or egg, right, the nest egg. Why the October opus, or life's work, of the buffalo is Ra, or cow, which is bringing up Hathor again. The TI is Tai Chi was coming up, but also that source energy, Chi, or the tiger, cheetah. That could be a tiger who cheated. And the horsey, or horse sees the star, or the chore to see the star, or path. The Saint Nightingale, or starry night, the saint or knight, the stain fox, or stain ice ale fox, or nightingale, or gal fox. The digamma ox, or kisses and hugs, the frog and bear of fast forward, the rogue bear, or the rob ear, or emotional attachments to beaver, or be, a verb, be moth, and then Liza came up, or mole is butterfly, with mouse's Waco, or way came L, shark, or be mother, Liza road, or moth and lizard, but bull fly and mouse are co-creating a cash arc, elder, or elephant and dear one, the EA glee, or emotional attachment glee, and regal dolphin, or Edo, dread or dead, doc, cos, mice, and cos is my dad's nickname, so that was coming up, but it's also referencing the cosmos, or cause. So the cos of mice, or cos milk, the milk of the father, and the cozy bat doctor, or cos co-creation, right, the daughter of the father, in inner child, to see the elk bat, or CLK bat, which can also represent the L of the right angle and the K of energy, or the leap of energy of the bat, or to see bat doctor, or BA is key, or B at doctor dragonfly, or dragon is to drag on, to breathe in, fly, a beautiful mind, the dragon firefly, drag fire, or firefighter perhaps, or Dr. Fire is the foe, the black egg, or phoenix blaze, to root lay PI, the pie, or perhaps a private investigator, or der rabbit, or ra, lion, croc, or rally on a CRO, or rabid lion, see rock, the human dive, or the human dial, the ultimate oyster of ULT, or URE, or you light, the light toy of Saint Gazelle, or the toy that stirs their gaze. At 0 point, Saint Ega Zell, or the feminine ego, or the urgent GA, which can be Georgia, or whatever it means to you, or urgent Georgia trip, GA, or path, or sting in gray wolf, wearing to the nth degree a co-creation, or co-creation of earth war with fire ants, or ear reflecting ray of nitro, or Dr. Crow, which can be eating crow, or dragon, or breathing, or eating crow, cotter, or otter, or seeing rot, or overtime bull, panther, which is again the energy of someone drooling over them. So this overtime bull may be drooling over this other energy. Dragon on cow, or dragon on crow rather, and overtime bull, or OT bull. The pan, or pandemic, to the nth degree, ER, urgency, with Tara, nitro, again, explosive, hummingbird. Heard it through the grapevine, the throne of the ant, choosing path, and heard a whisper, or human from a bird, about collection and awakening, and the snake. Or hums, naked to the lamb. So somebody could be singing naked to the lamb or the little baby. Or throne of the hummingbird got slammed. Or panther spread rumors to the collective to target the lamb, or about the second coming of Christ at 2:10, which is the divine feminine and destiny, or that high vibe wake-up call. So then this morning I was asking again, with just throwing out some random cards. I'm just going to give you that information because it's only a couple paragraphs. But I pulled up the wild unknown cards, and the underlying energy came up at 11:11 was the raccoon, the lamb, the bat, the bee, and the zebra. Perhaps depressed in the dark, the lamb is the target. The bat may be the mouth taking off or spaced out or lost, and the bee is hovering over to see if it's safe to come in, as the zebra protects them, standing guard. Coming out the cards were the bull and the fish out of water, and the collective awakening. The hummingbird heard it through the grapevine, and the scorpion jumped, shocked, or triggered the unicorn, divine feminine with the divine masculine aligned here. The crow facing cheetah, who's stalking or about to pounce, along with the panther who may be freaking out, or twins about to be attacked from both sides, or scorpion spreading rumors, shocking to divine feminine. The buffalo is well grounded, but the fish is out of water in the collective awakening. And again, this could be like a fatherly or very stable energy with a child, but it's like separate from the mother here. The Pisces may be ungrounded, and the scorpion energy is trying to clear the air with them, while shocking the unicorn into alignment with the crow on guard, divine masculine, who's been attacked by the cheetah and black panther, but twins standing strong in a united front without being affected. So remember that. Remember to be present in the moment, every moment right now, because you may get, this is the dark energy, it always gets darkest before the dawn. Right before the twins come together, there's going to be major attacks trying to get you triggered. But you're just cool and chill, and it's all good. It's okay. You can feel that way, no problem. So let it all be. So I wanted to give you that message, and that was at 11:33 when that ended. And then again, the energy of today and Mytos, and the energy of Hathor and Sophia, and all the energy as one. The underlying energy of the lamb and the zebra on top, which just pulled out to the butterfly and the bat. And the butterfly in this deck looks like a bee who's exhausted because they just received their wings. And the bat is a mouse who just received their wings. Transforming and lost in space. The bee is very weak in transformation, and the mouse is confused and lost perhaps. So I went back to Mytos and Zotim, or Zotim, and Go Time was coming up, and mitosis, of course. So Myto is also M and ito, which also is coming up, and the mitochondrial disease, the myth, the story, the humor, the account, and the rumor, where ito is to choke, suffocate, drown, and catfish. Continually, habitually, banana, and this. And eto equals the letter H, which also came up from something else as well. Damned, insignificant, puny, here, look, see, behold, there, over here, over there. To be drunk, again, here it is, and yet, the wood, the forest, the orchard, the grove, and the bed, the field, the yard. And the number 3. ETO is etho and ethos, and which is character, custom, or habit. The SOT equals the fool, the drunk, the imbecile kind of energies coming up. And when the number 3 came up for ETO, the nat came in, which is unforgettable, so don't forget that. So it's ET, and it's like a backwards C. It's not a complete O, but it has an approximation symbol on top of the backwards C. ET, backwards C with an approximation symbol on top of it. That means 3. And it came from the U language, EWE. So the EWE is also the rolling stone, right? EWM and 3, which EWE comes up as 1 equal and congruent to 2 U's equal and congruent to others. And I looked back, and the bat was looking at me at 12:16. So mitosis, remembers the splitting of the cells. And if you write it backward, it's sysotim. And no word came out sysotim, but it came out 2 ways, just missing 1 letter. So system, as in system, came up, SISTIM, without the O in the middle. And sisoti, without the M, came in. So sisoti means sisar, or to hiss, sister, to pinch, mammal, and steal. But it also means vole, which is a field mouse. But it's without, it doesn't have the M on the end. So it's that energies, but without the M, which is of co-creation. And Ezra came up in that energy too. The word, it's actually ERZYA, but that came up as similar to Ezra when I was dealing with Ezra. So the system, but also the sisoti, and the system is like system, organized, whole, body, and system. So the energy of sisotim is the sister or field mouse, the hiss and the steal in a pinch, without the M of co-creation, or the system, the organized whole, without the O, or in other words, the whole with the W, without the whole, without the W. 2 U's without connection through, without the human or source component. And then it was 12:34, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door. So I stopped that. So now we go back to the 7 read on the table. And that was done on the 15th at 8:11 is when I cut the deck, the SIRIAN Starseed deck on the table. At 8:22, the Chariot came up as well as the T being the key or the top dog, the toggling up, right? The dead end is only at the top. And the Chariot being the Ascension vehicle, which is your body. The body, the system, right? You are the water vehicle of Ascension. You are the feminine within the masculine, ascending. At 8:35, I finished clarifying the strength of the 35 of the wounded warrior. And the major arcana here, which was the reason or the emperor, the abundance of the empress and the Chariot. After the read was Ascension, which is the world. There were 4 pentacles, 2 swords, 1 cup, and 1 wand. So we have 42 and 11, which is the 2 of cups, and the alignment of them, of justice, truth, and balance. We had the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords in the read. Before the read was the Wounded Warrior, and after the read was the Sovereign, 9 of Pentacles, with the Knight of Cups. We had double threes, double fives, double eights, nines, and tens. Begin again. The 33 of the Christ vibration, the 55 of the shaman's truth, the 88 of the twins dancing side by side, and the 99 of that high compassion, and the 1010 of the high vibration that you all are now. We also had the 35 of the wounded warrior, 58 of the four of swords, the 5D connection, the 89 of the phi energy and reflecting in the middle, and the 23 of the king of wands, the 34 of the 8 of wands, the 45 of the 5 of cups, and the 56 of the 2 of swords, the 67 of the knight of pentacles, the loyal humble servant, and the 78, the end of the deck, the 10 of pentacles of heaven on earth. So the code line here is all about forgiveness, which was broken up into 4G, and Venus, Veness, which comes up as Venice, not Venus. I would think Venus the way it looks, but it comes up as meaning Venice. So both Venus and Venice came up. And 4G is to forge your way. The code line was all about the number 20, again 20 and back coming up, and 20 years from now. And that came up from 10, 4, and 6, which is high vibe, the 4 of the lambda leap, and the 6 of the spiral. So all about forgiveness. And the first word that came up here was phi and capital N, which is fin. So fin to the nth degree, which came up as the fish, but also the fin on top of Hathor's head, the Sophia energy, the Mytos or mitosis energy. And Finnith can be coming up too, so the Finnish people could be coming up as well. And all about forgiveness here. So the fin to the nth degree, and the moral man's destiny to the high road, the divine masculine's heart, in the bat cave of 6 mass, the lover's mass, and or toggles up to source. The reflecting of Christ to the nth degree, the deed or act to strive, extend, or march on. The high road, 309, the 4 of pentacles of the divine masculine's heart, and the Sophia 9 mass, the toggling up of Venus to forge, right, forging your way to Venus, or Venice could be coming up as well. So Veness or Venes also means the vein or small boat, the mire, bog, or oats, Russian blow, and the cutting out of a tree trunk. But it comes up as Venetian, not Venusian. So Venice, to come, to arrive, and return, due to a stillbirth. The fin, which also represents 5 pounds or $5, the godson or the subtle realms. The death, the finish line, being kind and nice, the end, the black, the darken, the fine, the choice, the delicate, the minute, being fashionable with a purpose or objective, a goal. The dove to the nth degree, the moral man and the high vibe, taking the high road of the lambda leap, the L to the 1 of the lambda leap, the lamb of the Christ to the Father leap of being Christ-like, and the 6 of the lover's support, and Venice, the fine posh to the nth degree, the moral man's destiny to the high road, holding on to lover's mass, the lover's support, the lover's tea, or saving for lover's trip to Venice, or perhaps to Venus. The Finnish deed, or the high roads, maybe someone's going to Finland, the Finnish deed and the high road, the divine masculine's heart in the bat cave with lover's support, or lover's mass with top dog or source, which is Hieros Gamos, and Venice, and or the Pope. So there's that energy, and there's an energy around Pope also regarding just being fatherly, right? So I used to call, there was in one of the articles I wrote, and I can't find it ever since then, but Poopy, as in a pope, it was a nickname I used to call my dad. I wasn't calling him Poop. I was calling him Poopy, which is like a term of endearment. But it is a reference for the Pope as well. And so there's that energy of being very fatherly, right? The old fatherly man who's very kind and wise. And again, remember the Venetian is very close to the Valentine's energy as well, the Valentinian reference in Wikipedia. So this read starts off with the reason of the Emperor. And below that is the Five of Swords reversed, the Five of Pentacles upright, the Nine of Wands reversed, the Three of Wands upright, and the Ten of Cups reversed. So this is the underlying energy right here with the mini cards on top. The post-war injury or exile and the surrender to be present in the moment. With the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family or an emotional cycle that's way overdue to be ended, or no longer stretching from frog to prince, juggling 3 with 2 for later or backup, the hermit in exile above the group, and the wounded warrior surrendering, with fame present or flame present, and the Ten of Cups reversed unhappy with the Emperor or their reasoning behind this. The Emperor and the Empress after War of the Roses, with the King of Pentacles and King of Swords holding them hostage or imprisonment over the Empress's head here. So there's sudden realization at work with the Queen of Swords upright and her bliss, with the King of Pentacles, earth sign or of wealth, and the Four of Pentacles reversed here is the masculine's heart opening up and coming out of the bat cave, or letting go to make amends or peace with the King of Swords. After hiding savings, perhaps under floorboards or in the attic or walls, or post-war relics found, so no more floating the gold coin or taking down the field. And there's a confirmation there. And I was just getting too, like if you're having problems with anything, you know, just as an example, like mice in the walls, maybe you're having issues with that because there's something there you're supposed to find that may be of value. The King of Pentacles no longer hoarding, ending the war with the King of Swords, with 16 amps or trauma and explosives between his legs, or heavily armored throne, or perhaps a pee-pee guard. Maybe someone's having bladder issues. Putting some work into the ceiling, or buffering the noise from upstairs, or soundproof room, perhaps a child with their stereo system and ready to kill them, you know. At 9:23 is the Hermit and the King of Wands, the dependent Knight of Pentacles reversed and Ten of Pentacles reversed. And this, right, that's the Nine of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles are the ultimate single person, the ultimate family. But they're both reversed here, losing funds or spending to end a nightmare of constant drama or noise. And white noise came up yesterday online too. So chemistry comes up here, and beneath that, the engagement. The Dark Priestess with low cleavage to get over loss and regret, an open book test, and the Page of Cups reversed. I was losing my voice with her as well. And the Page of Cups reversed, sharing codependent behavior with their perpetrator who held them hostage to inspect every inch or show about the scam call, and clearly creating a victim and perpetrator and savior. And that was actually the crime, by making the innocent people all of those roles. So a very interesting point there regarding that show. At 9:28 with the Hermit and the Twin Flames, or choice of path, the Page of Cups reversed is feeling rejected or shy, or perhaps spoiled and entitled, or just a baby crying and maybe never, they're just crying all the time. Maybe they're entitled and sharing their bad habits, with one no longer in limbo, inspecting every nook and cranny, or done with inspection but codependent issues to correct, or Pisces is upright and over the Page of Cups reversed, Pisces or Capricorn reversed, or the Drama Queen. At 9:32 is the Hermit and the journey of perseverance with the number 4, and music with the 32 of the journey, which is also the muse of the inner child, and to persevere in that lambda leap on the journey. The energy of recovering but weak, and choosing a new path and letting go to make amends or fix things, perhaps unstable or getting ready to move or for a visit, with the Page of Swords or message without affection, or about a breakup, or Page of Swords with Gemini in their chart. The Page of Pentacles reversed and the Nine of Pentacles reversed are here to pay for their party, or got a chef to impress, or chalet vacation to make amends, or choose a new path to spend a bit, to move with the Page of Swords, or wasn't interested in the place or not their style. So perhaps you couldn't sell a house or you couldn't get rid of your apartment or something like that. At 9:39, which is the Knight of Cups with the Hermit. Perhaps Leo reversed and Gemini reversed, or egos at play between roommates, a breakup or loss of affection with the Emperor upright and the King of Swords upright, in drama of awakening or after a sudden event, or southeast or hostage situation, and the Emperor's perseverance. Going forward here is the energy of the Page of Pentacles after a sudden event or drama with the Page of Swords. They could be fighting or competing, and the Knight of Pentacles offering to split with the Queen of Pentacles or make restitution at 9:43. The Queen of Pentacles, Cancer, or traveling to get peace and quiet or to lay things to rest, but may get attacked or no need to defend themselves when they do. So again, using your talents and abilities not to get triggered or not to react. The recent past is the Three of Swords reversed, healing and on a quest to detox with the Page of Wands reversed, expecting an apology in order to make peace, with presence waiting day and night. One day running into the next with the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or ending that cycle that's way overdue with the Queen of Pentacles and Hierophant, Taurus, religion or establishment, societal norms, sharing or settling out in disconnect or at a distance, with one imprisoned or anxious, having to keep to themselves, to keep their energy clear and to heal, perhaps in a breakup or love loss with the Emperor. Capricorn, Cancer, and Pisces reversed, but Taurus is upright right here. The foundation of the Ten of Pentacles reversed with dysfunction or loss and no reunion or bad influence around them. Too much drinking or gossiping shared here, or settling out or distribution of debts to be free to leap from isolation and no growth to arousal or inspiration. Only to feel frustrated or abuse. Or there could be, someone could be, holding sex over their head. The Emperor with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles with the Ten of Cups reversed. So each have a different issue. The central energy of the Empress in abundance, kept to themselves as the High Priestess or higher self, drained at work or overexposed, defenseless to energies of unhappy family or triggering or overwhelm or purging the King of Cups. Perhaps the King of Pentacles and King of Swords are living with the Empress and imprisoning her. And that could just be in her perspective, right? That they're not allowing her to do what she wants to do or expecting too much. And then at 10:01, and that could be vice versa as well. So at 10:01, which is the Wheel of Fortune or Destiny and the One of the Magician, the masculine, the challenge being the Four of Pentacles reversed of the Divine Masculine's heart coming out of the Batcave after a death or an ending or poor health or weakened in ego death, with Scorpio and Leo reversed and no options for the Queen of Wands reversed, with their world upside down or needing closure or completion of a cycle, or Pisces reversed, Divine Feminine in 5D, and moving to peace away from a manipulator or their insecurities. Or Pisces or Divine Feminine and the Magician reversed, maybe going back and forth between them, and the Queen of Swords upright with the Six of Cups reversed in a falling out with the Empress, or the Queen of Swords with kids at the Empresses and acting up. The Lovers out in the cold, extending an olive branch or some mistletoe, with the Queen of Pentacles losing patience for the Fool to leave work, getting dumped on, and without a choice in a very busy place of justice or legal ramifications, or Aries dumping on Libra, to get out to see Sagittarius reverse Queen of Pentacles, or could be two women, or that could be an impatient Queen of Pentacles as well, or could be two women in a secret affair, right? So be someone married in masculine feminine marriage, and then the wife is having an affair with a woman. And now here is the Eight of Pentacles upright under the radar, with the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Swords upright, or rejection and stepping up to the plate, with the Queen of Swords with Gemini or Virgo in their chart, and the Three of Swords with the Seven of Swords in separation from a liar, cheater, or thief, or making an announcement of justice or wake-up call with Aquarius and Libra upright, but Gemini reversed, uncomfortable dealing with emotions and dissatisfied at work with the Seven of Wands reversed and the Two of Pentacles reversed, perhaps at work defenseless to unwanted advances, no surprise, offering kindness and being ignored, dropping the ball and disconnect or at a distance, with the wounded warrior surrendering the day the music died. And that could be surrendering only after the fact, right? When they no longer had a choice. Left out in the cold, weak and in poor health, the fool with the snake at their heels, waiting for them to trip. With the Ten of Pentacles reversed and no fantasy with this family, with deception and no sleep and swapping perhaps in the past up the mountains, or no more vacations in the mountains with friends, all naked and with wine and reflecting with each other. With the Ten of Swords reversed, now third party, worst is over, with dependent or powerlessness or spending addiction or loss of power, money, and independence, of being free from work, no longer obsessing or dumped, overwhelmed without choice but to correspond with justice or the court system. Aries and Libra here. Soon here is the Six of Cups reversed, where the past returns to end pain and suffering with a big offer of bliss, perhaps dumping a load or paid to lose weight and shop online, in a falling out or difficult kids or bad memories, and destined to keep to self for peace of mind, pulling in the Knight of Wands to save the day. The Nine of Pentacles sovereign, but now not, powerless or dependent, to the Devil reversed, or detoxing and discomfort of having to deal with emotions, in need of long walks and or a trip to the mountains. As the twin flames, seeing themselves as the Eight of Wands upright in energetic exchange and the arrows of love in color my world, in a split, divide, or lie in court, or with justice, Libra, or a car accident, or breakup, break down, break in, out, or through, with the Queen of Swords talking about the Hierophant, marriage, religion, establishment, the boys club, the boys club is coming up here, whether it's religion, status, or sexual. There's all sorts of all men's boys clubs out there in nature. At 10:29, that high vibe Three of Wands being present in the moment, with lots of back and forth and arrows of love, with Libra upright and Cancer reversed, Taurus and Aries upright here, the King of Wands reversed in a split, with the Knight of Swords truth being delivered from the Emperor, who's upright. The battle between church and state, or three bodies, or top dog religion, or political attachment and justice system, all breaking down. With the Queen of Swords upright and the Knight of Swords upright, with the King of Wands reversed between, unending communication and travel and lots of opportunity to be bad. Give your relationship a chance, make the effort, and then also coming up with wedding, the situation involves a marriage and getting to know each other. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the King of Pentacles, getting over loss and regret, or letting go to make amends or fix things, with the High Priestess, higher self, and or Pisces or sister, aid or nurse, or secret keeper or psychic, or lovers with the Queen of Cups reversed and the Knight of Pentacles upright, who may be an offer of help in the never-ending story to the Page of Pentacles, or an invitation that's open-ended, with the King of Pentacles regretting or sending regrets, keeping to themselves, hoarding or Scrooginess, but now getting over themselves to come out of the cave and invest a little bit with the High Priestess or higher self, or with Bookkeeper, Gemini was coming up as well, or the twins. So, or this could also be the High Priestess or higher self lovers with the Queen of Cups reversed, or with great affection with the Queen of Cups reversed, offering an open-ended help or invitation, going out of their way or going out of their way or crossing the cross. There could be a double cross again there too, since that was coming up. But tempting self to go over the edge. Pisces, Gemini, upright, Scorpio and Cancer reversed, along with Earth, a lot of Earth energy here. The challenge being the King of Swords and the Knight of Wands rushing back or taking call in energetic exchange with the Seven of Pentacles or the Divine Feminine's heart assessing their worth, or the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower there, with forgiveness, but even more so here, pride and time out, which also time out in the prior read came up as Tim, the top dog, I am, and E, out. One equal congruent to out, which was also coming up as that other word. What was it? I can't remember. But the Knight of Pentacles offering friendship to fairy justice or exchanging recipes perhaps, with the Chariot reverse broken on the warpath, no longer obsessing at work, pushed to the limit without option in energetic exchange with Libra or Justice, and losing patience for union or homecoming, or to find a house. So losing patience for all that stuff. Needing to surrender to all that is, with the Knight of Cups reversed, who could be cheating or hit and run and ran away and powerless. And this could be something that happened a long time ago. But losing patience between work and home, broken, drop the ball, the world upside down, powerless or dependent or with a dependent, the Knight of Cups reversed, who may be jealous or schmoozer, defenseless to drama or threats held over their head, after healing and a dream come true, being the star and all that comes with it, or Aquarius upright here, post-war hermit in exile, the Mary Magdalene cave, the wounded warrior surrenders to be present or to be the gift for the Ten of Cups reversed family within reason. The Emperor upright, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, an energetic exchange with the King of Pentacles, healing with the Empress upright as well, challenged by coming out after a falling out or about difficult kids, and the King of Swords working like an assembly line that's broken or without a car or equipment that's broken down or old and needs to be replaced at 1050, which is Destiny and the Ten of Cups. So at 1051, the destiny of the King of Swords or Libra King of Swords, unable to just surrender to all that is, with the world upside down or crazy or needing closure, and powerless or with dependent, and the Knight of Cups reversed, always under attack. The Emperor healing from a breakup or lack of affections, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family of dysfunction or loss, with the Empress and her abundance, and challenged by the Divine Masculine coming out of their cave to work nonstop in energetic exchange or lots of back and forth or a busy place, with the Six of Cups reversed and the King of Pentacles upright, the King of Swords upright, broken at work, or maybe there's a break-in at work as well, or Cancer reverse, breaking patterns with the Pisces reversed or the world upside down or that crazy world, or the need for closure here or to come full circle, with the Dependent and Knight of Cups reversed, or spending, jealousy, and defenseless to attacks, the Emperor and the Empress broken and trying to heal, forgive, or apologize, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community. The challenge being the busyness or the hours of love of the Divine Masculine's heart and getting them to come out of their cave. The Emperor upright with the family issues of the Ten of Pentacles reversed, in constant energetic exchange with the King of Pentacles to fix everything. The Empress with issues of grown children, perhaps the King of Cups, King of Swords, and King of Pentacles, and their broken children. So there could be grandchildren staying there too. Or their past that are catching up with them at 10:59, which is the 11th hour, right? The minute before 11. Okay? All right, so I just want to pull an energy card for you guys, let you go, because it's a long read. At 3:19, and it's 2:08:03 and 4, the Emperor and the Empress. In the dance of the two, the twins, the feminine, the 3:19 is the Empress and the Sun. Or abundant exposure, abundant energy, abundant vacation. Okay, so what's your takeaway from all of this? Remember the dice, we had the Sun in the middle of the Virgo and Gemini energies here. Or the mercurial energies, the messengers. And the space between. And the Sun, place for exposure. or to energize the messages. All right, let's see what is our takeaway from the messages today. '41, the crowning glory here, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. So that crowning moment. And again, it's like your game face, right? Not allowing anyone to affect you. I don't usually get her being miserable, but not today. I'm getting her with her game face on, that no one's going to stop me from getting my trophy here to my crowning moment, right? They're not going to trigger me. I have my wings open. The 41 of self-love, spiritual love, and new love, and the 7th chakra of illumination. And then here's the other energy, the masculine, but also in the Queen of Cups energy here. The 4th chakra and the 7th chakra, the heart to crown. So the masculine being in his heart, the feminine being at the crown. And that was like the energy that came up last week, where the masculine starts in the root, right, as the sexual energy to the heart, and the feminine starts in the heart, right, to their sexuality. But it was the masculine going from the root to the heart, where the feminine is going from the heart to the crown. And now we have him in the heart and her in the crown, coming together, and both of their wings are out. And this is the victory of the twins. The bottom of the deck is the Magician in the mirror, the 53 of the Knight of Swords, the one of deliverance, the knight in shining armor, the messenger of truth, the emperor caught at night without his clothes on, right? The emperor's new clothes is much more casual because somebody walked away. Somebody found a new passion and left the situation. All right, so they were left stranded, okay? But because of that, it's the blessing in disguise, is this energy. You know, whether these are children or the twins coming together, it can be both. There is victory here in peace. It can be peace and quiet for somebody as well. Right, no more fighting because somebody left. Maybe they were the cause of all the fighting. So I'm going to pull you a card from my abbreviation deck too, right? It just has the characters in this Rider-Waite. So let's see what comes up for you guys. So who's the main character for everybody watching today? And from those cards I just pulled, you have the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Cups. All right, so what is the main character for everybody? And that just fell on the floor. Oh. Okay, so someone who was suffering in silence or couldn't sleep. And that could be the Emperor here in his pajamas there. Because what happened? Maybe there was a fight, someone left. Somebody didn't sleep, or they're suffering in silence, purging at night, they're up. And there's the Emperor, there you go. Or this is either the Emperor himself, or this is the other person who left. Okay, so this is the underlying energy on this deck. And the storm warning was just before these. So this was a fight. All right, so somebody left. So there's your main energy there. And then apparently the Emperor's happy. Okay? And this is justice. And we also have Aries and Libra right there. And then someone's inspired. They're excited. They're excited to manifest big time here. And there's Gemini there too. The bottom of the deck is someone leaving. There's the Chariot. So someone made a bold move to leave the situation. And that doesn't usually come up that way, so that's very significant. So remember your water, your sleep, your joy, your nature. And be gentle with yourselves and with others. And don't let yourself get triggered. Like, you know, you can talk about things, but if the heat rises, it's time to walk away. Right? If someone rushes in and says something really mean to you, right? Be in your compassionate place. You know, you can say whatever you want, but I'm not going to speak to you unless you want to speak like a nice human being. So just remember to be very present and react the way you would normally react in a loving way. Rise and be loved, love and rise. Take a deep breath. It's in their eyes. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.